welcome to this week's Monday Minutes. My name is Kelly.
And my name is Jessie, and we are here once again to talk to you about 2211. And this week, we're going to show you how to group items together to enable your patrons to place holds on them. This is a great feature for multi-branch systems where maybe you have multiple locations that get the same magazine, and you want patrons to be able to place a hold on the next available April copy. Or this is a nice way, depending on how you catalog, for graphic novels or DVDs, where, again, if you have multiple copies and you say you want a specific volume.
This is a fantastic opportunity. This has a lot of great kind of features that libraries are going to use in different ways. And just a shout out to Arlington Public Library, who sponsored these two features we're going to talk about today, which work together.
Excellent. So Kelly, let's go into Koha administration, and we're going to come in. There are two new system preferences, enable item groups and enable item group holds. So what this does is this enables the feature to allow you to, one, group items together, and then two, the ability to place those holds on item groups. So Kelly and I have prepared two different scenarios. The first one we're going to look at is DVDs. So in this case, we have cataloged Yellowstone. We'll look at season 1 here. And we have copies at our East branch, and we also have copies at our North and West branch. So since there's 4 discs in season 1, what this enhancement allows us to do is essentially group those items together. So you're going to see a new tab once this feature is enabled that will allow you to create those item groups. So in this case, we've created disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, and disc 4. If this was a multi-volume set, you could create an item group called volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. If these were magazines, you could group them together and say January, February, March, April. This is just an opportunity to make it easier for your patrons to be able to say, I want the next available item for these, no matter which location they are at within the system. So once this feature is enabled, you'll see this items groups tab, and you have the button here that will allow you to add a new item group. So right now we have in there disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, disc 4. Let's say there was a disc 5. I could come in here and say disc 5, and then down below, I can control the order number. And so what that would do is that would display in a particular order. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 in there. So I'm going to say this is display order 5. Once I add that in, you'll notice it drops it to the bottom where I have disc 5. You can edit or delete these groups at any time. So for example, if you're doing this for a magazine and you have them by the year, let's say January 2022 or 2023, and so on, once you purge or remove those from the system, you can delete these within the item groups tab. Now, we have another example here for you as well. We have the Dwell magazine. Now, we saved one in here so we could go through the steps and you can see what it looks like. So for Dwell, we're going to come in here. We're going to grab this first one. You can see that we have this connected to a subscription. So we have a subscription at the main library, and we have a subscription at the West branch. So if we come back to our holdings table, you'll notice right away, we have volume 45, number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. If we come over to our item groups, you'll see that we have created, God bless you, you'll see that we have created a description for each one of those months. So if I come in here and I say new item group, I can say July, display order number, and 7, and then that will add that to the list. So in theory, I could go through and make all of them up till December, so that way we can group them together. So now, how do we add items to the item group? So from the select column over here on the left-hand side, we'll come down all the way to our most recent one, which is April. And again, you'll notice I have a new column within our holdings table entitled Item Group. So I can come down and select these. So now that I have those April ones collected, you'll notice that I have actions here. where I can delete those items, I can modify those items, and I can add or move those to an item group. You'll also see the option to remove them from an item group. So if I select that, that's going to give me my dropdown. I can come and select April, since we're on the 45 number 4, set item group, and now that has added those together. So in theory, now my patrons or staff can come into the holds queue. They can enter in an individual. And what they will see, now that we have enabled that, is the ability to hold the next available item from an item group. So I can say any January copy that is available, place a hold for that individual. When we look at that, it will automatically show next available item from a group.
I mean, life changer right here, Jessie.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, this is so much flexibility for the patron to say, I want the next. I don't want the next, disc that comes in. I want a specific disc, but there could be 3 or 4 of those. So I want the next available of those discs that I want. This is great. Or magazines.
Yeah, absolutely. So now staff can control it from the hold side when they're looking at a record. And why don't we go over and look at our OPAC so we can see how that looks for our patrons on that side. So we're logged into Missy's account. And if we come over here to our holds, I'm going to do a quick refresh. So we can see that there's the one we just did for Dwell within the system. You'll notice it says next available item from item group January. So let's go in and let's search the catalog and grab that Yellowstone one where we have another example for a DVD. So if we come in here again, there we go, Yellowstone season 1. And I come down to the bottom here, I check to see what it is. And I'm like, you know what? I need disc 3. And I can see here that there's multiple disc 3s that are available. I can come over and place a hold. Now, Missy will see that same option here where we can say request specific item from disc 3 down below. And now in our circ rules, we have it set to force them to choose a specific item. However, depending on what your circ rules are, now that we have this feature, you can absolutely have them be able to say the next available item because now they can, request it from that specific group. So if you are a multi-branch system, or you have your, items grouped in a way that would be beneficial for them to place a hold on a group of items, this allows them to come in and confirm that hold.
This is so fantastic.
Yeah.
So fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that, the good news is with everything that's in an update, you have to turn this on. So it's something that you could definitely decide on, or I think it's a very cataloging driven decision whether to use this, but also a patron focused to say, is this going to help my patrons? Because there is probably that extra little step to group them, but in the end, it's definitely going to help your patrons.
Absolutely. So Kelly, should we show them what it looks like when they go to their holds queue or holds to pull?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we come over to our holds to pull, we'll scroll down here and we can see that one that we just did for Dwell. And it's telling us, this barcode or any available from the item group for January. And then we can see that same thing for Kelly's request with Yellowstone season 1. It tells us the barcode or any from item group disc 2. So staff will easily be able to identify that information.
This is great. I'm getting really excited for 2211 because there is so much. Jessie, we only have about another week or so before our Spring into Fitness Koha Community Challenge starts. So if you have not signed up, please join us. And your money is going to a great place, and we're going to have a great May.
I can't wait to see what everyone does. Oh, Kelly, should we have at the end of our Koha Community Challenge, the top teams maybe can join us on Monday Minutes Live?
Oh, yeah. I won't be in that top team, but whoever can do it. Yeah, definitely. That should be somebody's goal right there is to be able to get on Monday Minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, have a great week.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.